fifth spot Ascent is for this one way from B main onto the common anchor spot behind the shed and site. I've shown all the spots in shadow mode, as in most situations it's easier to deploy the smokes this way, but I've added a picture of the exact spot where you're aiming at in the normal vision just so you can visualise exactly where you're aiming. Fourth is this one way which is very effective against aggressive enemy pushes from a lobby early in the round. It's only fourth on the list though, as the enemies can normally wait out the smoke as they won't be under any time pressure when you use it. Next is this great smoke either for attack or defense. If the attacking team are pushing up mid into A link, you can stall out their entrance into site by using the smoke, or in a post plant situation where the door is being shot out, use the smoke to halt their entry into site. It's especially useful in the post plant situation, as the defenders will be running low on time and they may have no choice but to push through the smoke, making them an easy elimination. Second on the list is this defensive one way which is great for countering attacking pushes into the B site. In most executes, the attackers will want to push out of B main and go left straight into the site. By using the smoke you can completely nullify all the attacking team's utility by making it impossible for them to leave B main without getting eliminated. Try to stay on the left hand side of the walkway and crouch when you use this one way to get the most out of it. Finally, the best one way on Ascent is this one from A window down into A link. It's super easy to use as the lamp has a large hitbox, and any attackers trying to push into A from mid will have no chance as they can't see up into the window at all. You can even use this in a post plant situation too. The next map is Bind. The fifth spot on the list goes to this one way above the teleporter onto anyone holding the angle on A short from lamps. The main problem with this smoke is if the lamps player is smart, they'll just quickly get back into cover and let the players in sight watch this angle. But if you can catch an over aggressive player's feet, they're just an easy kill. Next is this dual smoke that actually acts as a one way on anyone behind the boxes in sight, as well as blocking the line of sight from heaven into the showers. As you push out of showers, you still need to be careful of anyone holding an angle from behind the truck, but this one way come line of sight blocker is a useful smoke to know. Just be careful of any players playing in the right hand side cubby. Third is an excellent one way from B cubby onto B long. If this smoke wasn't so hard to place, it would have come number one on this list. It will take a fair bit of practice to get this lineup down, but once you have it you'll have a massive advantage over any attackers trying to push up B long. In shadow mode you'll need to find the middle of the lip shown in the real world picture, otherwise the smoke will just fall to the floor. Second is again another one way / line of sight blocking smoke, this time onto the defender's spawn on B site. Rather than just smoking off this door, aim for the ledge just above it to leave a tiny slit to see under onto any defenders trying to rotate to elbow. Be careful not to hold the angle from the back of sight into the defender's spawn when the smoke is up though, because it's actually a one way the defenders can use if you hold that angle. Finally, number one on this map is probably the most well known Omen one way in Valorant. Try and place the smoke on the nearest right hand corner of the box to get the best coverage of A short. You can use this one way to either look down A short or to check if anyone's pushed up into the cubby by the teleporter. If you see this smoke on attack, I'd wait till it dissipates before pushing. Fifth spot on Haven goes to this one way from A heaven onto A long. In the right situation, this smoke is very powerful, but you need to have very good timing to use it. If you use it too late, the attackers will already have pushed past it into sight, and if you use it too early, they'll just wait it out, although it might catch some people off guard, as they'll think they can still see into sight and not realise that they're clearly visible from window. Next is this one way for attacking pushes up C long. This smoke is very easy to place, but it's quite difficult to get the most out of it, depending on which side of C long the enemies are on. The most consistent spot to use this one way from is on top of the boxes on the left hand side of sight, as if you play it from on the floor there's a chance that the attackers will be able to see your feet as C long is slightly lower than the site. Third is a double smoke for the attackers as they push into the B site. You can use your smokes on top of both of the doorways into B site to get one ways on any defenders playing just outside the doors. Just be careful if the defenders are playing further back in A or C link, as they will still be able to see under the smokes into the back of the B site. If the defenders like to hold B from in A or C link, these smokes are very effective, but in some cases you'd just be better off just fully smoking the doors. Second is a very similar smoke to the one I showed for C long, although this time it's for sewers. You can use this one way from behind the boxes in sight or from the entrance to A site from spawn. Try and place the smoke on the closest left corner of the box. If it's too far towards the sewers, it blocks off most of the exit, making it much less likely for the attackers to want to push out of sewers for you to use the smoke on them. And they're much more likely just to wait it out. Finally, the best one way on Haven is for an Omen trying to stop an attacking push into garage. Place the smoke just above the doorway to give a perfect one way onto mid for any player playing in the garage window. It can be difficult to hold garage if the attacking team use a lot of utility to clear it, but by using the smoke you can make it almost impossible for them to push into garage without dying. On to the final map split. The fifth smoke is a great one way for B Heaven down onto the entrance to site. In this position you already have a massive advantage over the attackers, but this smoke just means you'll always win the fight. Although that's actually the problem with the smoke, as it's very uncommon for this angle not to be walled or smoked off as the attackers push into site, so this smoke isn't always usable. Fourth is this early round one way onto the attackers trying to push into mid from spawn. This one way is only fourth on the list though, as if you're playing in vents you already have a massive advantage over any attackers trying to push into mid early in the round, especially if you've got an operator. But if the attacking players keep on getting the best of you, use this smoke to give you the advantage back. Third is this attacking smoke onto the top of ramps. Most defenders holding this angle will play close to the wall, making this smoke a perfect one way for any attackers rounding the corner from A lobby. But if the defender is playing further back, they'll be able to see under the smoke, making it a much fairer fight. This smoke will be useful a couple of times a game, but if you use it every round the defenders will realise they can outplay you by just holding the angle from further back. We stay on A site for the second best smoke, but this time it's for the defenders. Use this one way to safely see any attackers trying to push up ramps into A Heaven. This smoke is so effective as if you're the defending team you don't want to be fully smoking off this entrance into site, as it just lets the attacking team freely rotate up to Heaven, but now you can give the attackers a false sense of security and catch them off guard as they pass through your crosshairs. Finally, the best spot on split is in mid-mail, helping a defender hold the mid section of the map from B Heaven. On split, mid control is very important, and this smoke makes it almost impossible for the attacking team to push up mid either into vents or B Heaven. It can be a bit difficult to place, and you have to aim at the corner of the wall and the doorway, but once you get it down you'll never lose a fight to any aggressive attackers trying to push up through mid into either of the sides. I've made more top 5 videos which you can check out here. Thanks for watching!